I remember seeing my father take a rifle and put it to the head of an animal to kill it for our dinner. It's kind of terrifying as a kid, but you're never in any doubt where food comes from and the connection of it. Part of wanting to run a restaurant like Attica is wanting to reconnect people with it as well.
5 potato, 4 egg, please, Gurney.
People might not think that cooks matter in the greater scheme of things, but in my experience, a lot of stuff filters down from the top. There's probably over 200,000 downloads of the menu on our website. Now, there's nowhere near that amount of people coming here. And so that tells me that people are not just looking at our menu because they're thinking about planning a dinner here. Looking at our menu for inspiration, whether that be in a restaurant or be at home. This small piece of literature with these 8 courses on it has massive influence on people. Therefore, if I had ingredients which were unsustainable and which were of a negative impact to the environment, then I'm contributing to that damage, and I don't want that on my conscience. In the 11 or 12 years that I've been cooking in Australia, the species of fish that were available to us very readily and very easily, they're not as easy to get anymore. Bass grouper, a fish that I love to cook, their reproductive cycle doesn't begin until later into their life, but most of the fish being taken are juvenile, because the juveniles are closer to the surface and easier to catch. They're being fished close to the point of commercial extinction. And that led me to, I guess a moment of reflection probably 5 years ago. Instead of continuing to serve the fish that I'd always served, I decided to take them all off the menu. I always look for suppliers who have a similar passion to me and a dedication and ethics. And so when I met Lance Whiffen, I sensed some of myself in him. He believes that it's never good enough. He thinks it can get better and it can get better. And of course, I feel that same way about my own work. I thought I knew all about mussels. I didn't really know that there was going to be a whole other level of mussel. The blue mussels that are grown in Port Phillip Bay where Lance farms, they were like nothing I'd ever eaten before. It was like the essence of the sea, captured in one tiny morsel. Mussels we can grow in a very sustainable manner. They don't take up a lot of space. They have almost nil negative impact into the environment. It's half the price of chicken and infinitely better for you and infinitely more sustainable. It's really great to be able to promote an ethical, sustainable ingredient and tell people that this is something that you should consider eating. I'd been thinking for a couple of weeks about the difference between a fish that's a better choice and a fish that is a bad choice. A King George whiting from Corner Inlet is a small, fast-growing fish. You're far better off to eat a fish which reproduces very early in its life and is a short-lived fish anyway. That was the first fish dish that I did after having fin fish off the menu completely for 2 years. The responsibility of a cook is to set a really good example that food is not an infinite resource. If you're cooking well, you're always taking into account nature. So in some ways, through cooking, I've found my ideal connection to nature.